All right, we are recording. Welcome to Power Hour. Glad to see everybody here. I wanted to continue what we were doing last week, and as I assumed, there was going to be a drop off because people don't want to get put on the hot seat. And I'm good with that. I really am. So, what we started last week was I didn't want to get into a whole hour of just lecture. I don't want to do lecture. I definitely have some parts that I'll share with you, but I want to get more of a feedback. I want to get in and identify. We've been talking about this process for a very long time. It is the most simple thing I have ever created, as well as the most efficient and the most powerful of all the system I've ever done in my life. And I have created a lot of those for what I do, what I did as a career, and what I continue to do for network marketing profession. And what we've got in place is gold. I will not make any bones about that. I heard one of my mentors say, people say they don't want to toot their own horn. Well, why the hell do you have a horn if you don't want to toot it? So this horn is worth tooting. And what's cool about it is it's not just one person that came up with this. It was a whole bunch of people that have come up with this. Every single person that has participated in any of these sessions has contributed. All of that comes back together, feedback, review, adjustments, new plans, seeing what's working, seeing what's not working, and continuing to never settle for, well, just because I said so, that's what we got. It's never been about that, and it never will be about that. We are at a point where this process is baked. I can honestly say that the thing that is keeping you from whatever your goal is, that thing is you, plain and simple. That's all there is to it. And what I want this to turn into for my sessions that I'm doing is I will have some lecture information that I'm going to put out there, but I want it to be I want it to be a very special get together, masterminding group that we do where I can ask you questions. You can be in an open environment, a safe environment to be able to share what's truly going on, no matter how crazy you think it is, no matter how deep we get. But if you will allow me to, I have an amazing track record for being able to sit with somebody and get to the source of what it is to a point where I'm not telling you this, you're going to discover it. And it's the hardest thing to do for yourself because you're like, well, I'm good. You're not. Something is holding you back. There's some blockage that you've got that's keeping you from where you want to be able to get. And so that's what I want these sessions to be about. So what we're doing in this format, if you haven't been here in a while, or if you're watching the recording, come join us, come live, get here, get your video turned on, and let us see you so that you can be a part of the group. And what we're going to do with this group is that we are going to learn from others. And you're going to learn from others, and you're going to learn from yourself participating in this. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to go ahead this time. I want to ask for anybody that'd like to volunteer to be able to sit on the hot seat. And the hot seat is not going to be one from a painful perspective. It's going to be a place where you're going to actually, I think, get some answers. So anybody want to volunteer for going first that is not extremely happy with how their business is going right now? Miss Sherry Passmore, what you got?
Okay, so I've been working toward, I think the empathy was, and the questions were definitely holding me back. Because I'd hear the what is it, and then I would kind of go more toward the I know a guy instead of empathizing enough. I think that was part of my issue. And since I've been doing this for 2.5 years, my warm market is pretty much, I've talked to everybody in my warm market, but I know they're all watching. So it's not like I have given up on any of them. It's just that I rely, and actually I'm pretty dang comfortable with talking to new people and in working conversations around. So I was at a Scout merit badge thing at the Woodlands Pavilion this evening, there was an Army recruiter there, and there was a kid asking all about all of his different regalia and stuff, and I said, well, what's that one? And I pointed the one on his beret, and he said it was for being a recruiter.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh wow, so how long have you been doing that? And then he went into, that it really wasn't his favorite thing because he doesn't like sales.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, how
You're
is
a
it
recruiter,
sales?
dude. What are you selling?
What are you selling? And he's like, well, it's not so much. I said, because it would seem to me, I said, I find the secret to sales is to like listen to people and find out how you can help them and then present what it is that they need in the way that you can fix it. And he was like, well, it's not those. They require us to make random cold calls and to like approach people that we don't know in public randomly and say, have you ever thought about joining the Army? I'm like, oh, wow. So you don't know anything about this person and they want you to ask them randomly out cold. He was like, yeah, and it's not cool. I'm like, I can see how that would be an issue or whatever. And he said, but I'm about to retire in 4 weeks. And life's going to be a different story after that. I'm like, oh, really? What are you going to do then? So I'm like trying to ask more questions, but I know my time's limited. So I think my question right now is, if you know your time is limited,
very good,
especially if you know you're not going to see this person again, like how do you balance the whole work it around to get their contact without like making it awkward?
Yep, absolutely. And I know a lot of ladies will have an issue with this. Actually, I'll say it that it's anytime that it's with somebody of opposite sex, there seems to be more of a stigma that'll pop up and get in the way sometimes on, well, how do I ask for somebody's number without it looking like I'm asking for somebody's number or anything like that. And I can tell you the best thing, in my opinion, to do on that is, look, hey, I know you're busy and it's random that people get to run into each other, but I like keeping in touch with people that are interesting. I don't like keeping in touch with people that there was nothing in common and that I did not find interesting. You're somebody I find interesting. Is there any way that I might be able to get your contact information? Maybe something on Facebook, phone number, Instagram, LinkedIn, any of those things that you might be on, or I might be able to stay in touch with you.
I usually do that through Facebook because it seems harmless. Everybody's friends on Facebook, but
I can go anywhere. I can go anywhere online and I can get any human being's phone number in like 20 minutes. And so it's a thing that everybody gets in their head on whatever they think is the thing. Then that's what usually will get projected out there, because when it's all said and done, I like talking to this person. If they don't want to reciprocate with that, I could care less. If you don't want to continue the conversation, cool. If you want to continue the conversation, I'd love to be able to stay in touch with you. That's my mindset when I'm going with it. I have the golden goose. I have an opportunity that is one of the best things ever seen. And it would really be a good idea if you chose to be able to stay in touch with me. That's how I enter into that conversation. Well, Casey, that's easy for you. You got that personality and all that. BS. I'm the world's biggest introvert. I hate talking to random people. If I go with Uncle Larry anywhere, I'm so happy because he's the extrovert that's going to talk to the whole world, and I get to just hang out there and just watch him go do his thing. All right? So don't think that it's just because I can go do it. But when
you'd have that same experience with me if you'd like be in public anywhere around me. So
that's funny. So when you're having that sit down with them, when you're talking to them, when you're interacting with them, if you're at a trade show, if you're at a place where you're just crossing paths and you just start chatting, it's like, hey, you're fun. I enjoy chatting with you. I am a collector of people that I like hanging out with. The world moves by connections. It doesn't move by anything else. I would love to be able to stay in touch with you. You do somebody a compliment like that, they got to be a complete ass to not be able to reciprocate back to you. You push into it that way, you lean into it that way with some charisma, with some excitement, that you do want to stay in touch with them because there's something there, do it. If you're talking to them and they're a wet napkin and there is nothing there, dude, don't waste your time. That time that you waste, that energy right there when your head's down, writing down their number, the most interesting person in the world just walked by you. So consider that.
It turns out this guy's retiring in 4 weeks. He's an entrepreneur. He has some ideas for some inventions. He's going to swap places with his wife, who's been a stay-at-home mom for 11 years, and he's going to let her go do what she wants to do while he works with the kids and stays home and figures out some ways to bring in some income at home. And I said, I know a guy, and he just retired himself from corporate America, and he's kind of an entrepreneur. I told him what you did. So I didn't tell him necessarily about what we have. He did, but I'm not sure how much of it is from, he definitely wants to pick your brain about entrepreneurship. And
I'm so good with
that. I definitely edified you.
Yeah, I'm so good with that. Seriously, if somebody's got an interest in that world, don't feel like you're wasting my time on putting me in touch with somebody like that. I am all about it. I am complete. Here's how it needs to go, everybody. I want to get this really.
This is what I need.
Well, this is what everybody needs, and this is great that you're sharing this, because this is where true understanding comes in. When somebody walks into, when you are interacting with somebody, the biggest thing you're looking for, the first thing you're looking for, and where I think everybody's getting messed up, is you're trying to figure out all 4 of these boxes I keep talking about, and all you need to worry about is the first one: desire. Do they have a desire? If they have a desire, that's all we need. And a desire means that they've got interest in this world. That's all I need. You give me that and you get that person in touch with me, you're done. That's all we need. If they have a desire for more wealth, more health, more time, or more significance, that's all you need to identify. That is your goal. You get that person in front of me, watch me do what I do. Watch the team do what they do. So don't worry about trying to get them through all these other gates. That's not your job when you're in that mode. Okay? When you're on the other side of it, it's different. But when you are prospecting, your goal is to find somebody that has it and separate that. You'll find everybody you run into is going to have desire. The problem is they collapse all the other stuff, says, I have desire, but I don't know how to do this, that, or the other. I don't know how to do this. I don't have a vehicle. I don't know how to drive it. And even if I did, I don't have gas to run it. That's how their brain works. Your job in the conversation is separate. No, I'm not asking you if you had all those other things. I asked, do you have a desire? Well, I do, but enough with the buts, man. Where's this butt part coming from? Do you have a desire? I have a desire. If you can have that conversation, now you're having a conversation. Some people don't want to talk about that. Cool. That means they don't have a big enough desire. They've let their fear, they let all the pain, they let all the past experiences pile up and bury their desire like a treasure that's under 700 feet of bedrock. And they ain't going to let you get down there. Cool. You want to keep fighting to keep that treasure hidden? You don't have to work that hard with me, buddy. No problem. Have a good one. I had one with Ava the other day. She put me on a 3-way chat with somebody. And it was about health. And she told Ava, hey, I got a desire to be able to help out on the health. Cool. Let me put you in touch with my guy. I get on. She is just back at, well, who are you? I thought it was pretty obvious by the conversation that the lady that introduced us just said, but I told you, well, I'm pretty sure I've heard all this, but you go ahead. Lady, I ain't dancing for you. You can kiss my ass. That's how that basically went. I didn't say that, but that's what went in my head. I'm not dancing for you. If you got this all figured out, keep dealing with pneumonia and whatever else you're dealing with. They couldn't operate on you because of pneumonia, but you got it all figured out. Man, I am not going to dig and try to get to that when they don't want to. No problem. You keep fighting for it. You can have it. It's yours. That's how we do it. Now, I wasn't rude to her. I just was matter of fact of it. Pleasant. Off we go. Told her, I said, it sounds like you got it all out there. I'm not here trying to sell you something. If you got it all figured out, go, oh, well, okay. Left the group. Have a good day. Next. All you're trying to do is find somebody that's got any sort of interest, any sort of desire. And you want to get them in touch with me or get them in touch with us. That help?
Yes, thank you.
Cool. That help anybody else? Sweet. Very good. Very good. So I wanna gush a little bit on Sherry because she is a nonstop prospecting machine. Just so y'all know, she literally cannot go anywhere without talking to people. That's what she does. If you would have met her when she first started, oh my goodness. It's not that she couldn't talk with people. She was so stuck in her own way. And she has come through that in an amazing fashion. So congratulations on that, to the point where she went out with Mr. Jones today, closed a business partner, knocked it out of the park because she was listening, paying attention, saw exactly what the gentleman needed, and wrapped it up. Boom, done. Let's do this. So good job.
I have to secondhand that. Sherry did amazing today. Literally the done for you system at its best. I got to go in there, sit down, and just shut up. And she took over and dropped straight knowledge for this doctor. And it was amazing to see them two just go back and forth. I almost wanted to get up and let her take over where I was because I was sitting in the middle. But thank you so much. You are a joy to sit with and just listen to. Where I went to my next meeting and I was repeating some of the things that you said, and I was like, yes, I learned something today.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That makes me even happier.
Very cool. Very cool.
You made my day. Thank you.
And I want to make the distinction. What she did today, she was playing a different role. And Mr. Jones was the prospecting. Mr. Jones can do that, but he knew not to because he brought in Sherry to be able to do that. And so it's very important to remember what role you're playing when you're sitting with these people. If you have the influence to do it, go for it. But if you got something, what will happen very quickly in your business is you will get out of that warm market. Like she talked about, you'll be talking to a bunch of other people that are not your warm market. They're your cooler market or their cold market. You've never met them before, but you start with everybody that way. Everybody that's your friend was once in your cold market. That's how it works. And so you build that conversation. But it's very powerful because they experience what it is that we do. That's how the duplication goes. Yes, ma'am.
Can I add one more thing
Please.
to that? So David had already talked to this doctor. First of all, I want to give props to him for not giving up because he's already talked to this guy probably 4 or 5 times. All right. So persistence, hello. He's already overcome objection. But I think what he was missing, this doctor, was a little bit of geek speak. He needed to know scientifically why it would be that this would help his patients. And so David is amazing at talking about numerically why this is going to help the doctor. And he probably could speak to the blueberries some, but and I know he can talk some nutrition too, but once people know you're good at numbers, they don't necessarily think you're good at nutrition. So it's always good to have that third party like solidity behind you. And that's really all I brought to the table was the fact that I love nutrition, so I can speak geek. And I don't really feel like I did anything special other than just like get kind of giddy about blueberries and why, why our products have MTC oil and how that's going to interact with your liver and transport it into the ATP. People don't necessarily know all that stuff. They would, by the way, if they went and watched Kyani Wellness TV episodes 1 through 67, they would know all of that.
They don't have a desire to do so, do they?
But they don't have a desire to do that. But on the other hand, why? Why would you do that when you have an expert?
That's right.
Why would you do that when you have somebody else that has some knowledge that can and prove to the third party, hey, you don't have to do this either, because look, I have an expert. You can have this expert too.
Yeah, that's
I
well said.
believe that's what closed it.
Yes, I completely agree. And key distinction I want to pull out of what she just said and what David also said, David was aware enough because he was paying attention to what the doctor needed, not some script he had in his head that he needed to give them the following 17 documents. And that's what he decided to be able to give. No, he listened specifically because before it got to that point, it was asking about numbers. What did David do? He called me. I got on the phone and I gave this guy a PhD in how to structure an organization, what to do, talking about other chiropractors that makes his little practice look cute and adorable compared to the size of what they've done to come in. And so he got that check mark, that's done. And then David, again, with what she said, to reiterate that, he listened to what was going on. He paid attention to where the person needed the information. And then he said, you know what I need to do? I need to get Miss Sherry to come out here and wrap this thing up. And so that's the mark of a very, very good leader, to be able to find out what the person needs. And so if you want to move up in this game and you want to get good at this, you get real good at listening and answering what the person's asking. That means you've got to quiet your little terrorist that's going in there, not listening to what they're saying because you're so concerned about what you're going to say, because you want to be right, because you want to be able to have the right answer. Go in as the idiot, that very amazing idiot that doesn't know anything but knows everybody that they need to have to put in there. That's the mark of an absolute genius. You don't sit there and waste any time. You just go pick and choose out of the people, know who you have, and get them in. And you know we're here to be able to jump into that. So while you might look like the idiot to the smart person that's your prospect, that's beautiful. Why? Because you're not the guy. That's how duplication works, is when you're not the guy. All you do is you just figure, oh, you need this? I can get you that. And people say, well, they need to hear it from me. That is the most egotistical nonsense that can come out of your mouth and get into your head. They don't need to hear it from you at all. That's what you're projecting. Well, I need to be able to show them this. No, you don't. You have it in your head that you need to do that. They don't need that. I'll be honest with you. It's really pretty amazing how little people care about what you look like, what you think, what you do, all those things. They don't sit there and go, oh, you remember that guy from like 2 weeks ago who didn't know anything about those blueberry things? Do you remember? No, man. They don't think about that. They have 69,000 more thoughts going through their head. They forgot about you ages ago. They don't care. They just need the information. That's right. And she nailed it. To reiterate, the reason that we don't answer all of those questions is because if you are the person that does all that, they're looking at you, they're extrapolating, say, this person is in front of me, giving me all this information. Therefore, I'm going to have to be the person that sits there with my prospects and give them all the information. That's why that doesn't duplicate. That's why you got to point to a tool. Use us as sharp objects to be able to take care of what needs to be taken care of. So really good points all around on that, and some really good stuff that came out on that, Sherry. The key item from her before I move on to the next person is on the empathy part. Do not be in a rush, especially when you perceive that there is a limited time. Create more time with them. Oh, the event's coming to a close. So, they're going to show up with shotguns to make you leave? If they do, talk outside. I'm making an absurd comment, but create those possibilities in there. Make that happen yourself. When you hear, I used to hear this all the time, people say, make it happen. It would annoy the crap out of me. Make what happen? What the hell are you talking about? The best I've got with that is create your opportunities to be able to do with it as you choose to do with it. You know what? You're somebody I want to keep talking to. Man, if you do, you will break the mold. Nobody talks that way. Nobody's intentional like that. You say, you are fun to chat with. I have enjoyed my time with you. I like staying in touch with people that are really, really interesting and mean it. Make sure it's a real compliment. I want to stay in touch with you. If it's a passing conversation where you say, hey man, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Good. They say, oh, well, we're handling the thing. Oh, wait, you're so interesting. No, that's weird. That's not the time. Move on to the next person. Don't force that. Don't force it to be awkward, but on the other side of it, create your opportunity. And here's what I also tell you, you're going to err on the side of passing over the opportunity. So don't go crazy. Your crazy is not going to be crazy, I promise you. All right. Good stuff, Sherry. Good stuff. I see, who else we got? Oh, we got some more people jumped on. I see Jamie. Miss Melissa joined. Thanks for being on. See Beverly, Karen, Tammy joined. Good chatting with you today. Mr. Eddie, Terry's on, Brian's on. Oh, excellent. We got a lot of folks join. All right. Who would like to go? Actually, I'm going to pick somebody. I want to chat with Michelle. I haven't got to chat with her for a little bit. How are you doing? Are you at a spot where you chat?
I can. Yep.
Excellent. How are things going for you?
Very good. Very, very good.
Very excellent.
Busy. So I am going back and trying to get conversations with people that I've put in the wellness stage and following up with everybody that I've put in the wellness stage because they've obviously seen something that they were interested in or they wouldn't have even, wanted to be put over there. So I figure I'm going to go back and that's what who I've been following up with this week. So.
That's so good, and that's such a good strategy. I'm actually writing that down. The key word she's saying here is following up. Say again?
I was really surprised. I was shocked. If I had to guess to save my life, I would have never guessed that there was 150 people sitting in there that I haven't followed up with. Some of them are customers, some of them are business partners, but the majority of them are not.
And that's 150 people that have been added into wellness from the inside out?
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's very cool.
That is a gold mine right there, and it's just a matter of seeing some data. And here's a very important thing, folks. This is another reason why you got to have a little bit of discipline to grab one of these little things called a piece of paper and a notebook and a pen or a spreadsheet. I'm good with both. Y'all know my love of spreadsheets, and write that information down on how far you've gotten them. That's huge. That's very, very huge. When you pass somebody to the wellness, that is the same as passing them to me. It's passing them to the proof. Okay, that's a 5 with a circle. You're passing them, and they're taking a look at it. And so come back around and see, because when you get done with the 5, you say, are they a customer? Are they a business partner? Or if they're not, that's where you can go find that information. Day by day, as you add them and you're talking, you're doing your 10, you're doing your 20, you're doing your 40, you're doing your, however many you do. That's so good. That's so awesome. When you're following up with them, how is that conversation going?
Just basically, how are you doing? I'm not doing anything out of the, I'm not going back right away to, see if they're, fixed, if they fix their problem, or I'm just building more rapport.
Be a human.
I'm not doing anything yet. I'm not, exactly. I'm not going to just go and jump right back into it, because there was a reason why they didn't respond to begin with. So, we need to build a little bit more of a relationship. And, if they may have, maybe they're not having those issues anymore. Or, maybe they are. I don't know. So, but it's not something that I'm just going to, blow through them. And I want to take my time with each and every one of them because, like I said, there was something there to begin with that made them want to be added to that page.
I love it. I love it. The key thing I want everybody to take out of what she just said is She chooses to approach them in this fashion. That's where she's coming from. This is how she's going to operate it. I love that. She is clear on her intent on how she's going to go about it, and it's with a goal in mind. It's not to procrastinate as a result of her terror saying, oh, we'll slow down and we're worried about what they're going to think or anything. She's making a conscious thought, a conscious choice that says, I feel best that I can determine with the information I've got, this person was interested. This person did not get everything they needed to be able to push it right over. So I'm going to take this a little bit more intentional, not slower, intentional, and dig in and make sure that I've got that connection with them. I think that's awesome. If others of you look at that and see that, and you want to go quick on that, you go quick on that. You do what you do. You do how you desire to do it. But I love it comes down to what you know inside of you that you need to do in this conversation. It's the relationship between you and that person. It's not me and that person. It's you and that person. My goal here is not to tell you the specific script to say or exactly how to go about it. I want you to move from some big pillars to some big pillars so that we can actually get you, they're called waypoints if you're doing any type of navigation. You go from this point to this point. Now, when you go from here to here, it doesn't mean you got to go in a straight line. There could be a ravine, there could be a river, there could be a lion, there could be all kinds of stuff between these 2 points. How you get there is you. That's your journey. It's your business. When we give advice on here's some things that you could say, I don't like the words, this is what you should say. No. Here's what I would say. Absolutely. I'll be happy to tell you what I'd say. I do not hold back on what I would say. And then use that to key off of that and make it your own, or maybe that comes up, say, I'm not going to say that. That is just way too harsh. I'm not, no, that's crazy. I'm going to say this. Cool. It's because you made that choice on how you're going to say it. That's what I want everybody to get out of this is do what you would do. If you need assistance, you need some words and some stuff to kind of get things going. You got writer's block. You don't know what exactly, that's just you're stuck in your head. Let us help with that. But when it all comes down to it, get all of that out of the way, get all that fear out of the way, and then it's going to like, well, yeah, that sounds good, but actually I know what I want to say now. Boom, go do it. Don't ask anybody's freaking permission. Can I send this? Yes, you sure can. It's your phone. You're paying for the wireless charges on it. You can send whatever you want. Okay? That's really good stuff, Michelle. How's everything else going? Any questions, any thoughts, any concerns?
Really good. Not really. Everybody, I mean, I will be the first to admit I'm the worst of the worst at following up. And that, I mean, I can talk to people all day long, and show empathy and get, all I have to do is, say something, and then they just like fill it all out. And that's great. I'm good at that. But following up, not my strong point.
Why do you think that is?
And I think it's just busy and, out of sight, out of mind. I put them in the wellness page and then, I'm busy doing something else. But what I've done is I went through the wellness page and I wrote down every single name. And I'm going back and I'm trying to find where I've tagged them in different posts, just to write down what it is. Because if I would have done that in the beginning in one spot, then I wouldn't have to do that. But I'm not good at spreadsheets. I don't do paperwork, and I mean I do. That's not where I excel.
Yeah.
So,
it's so awesome. It's so awesome of what she said is she just stated that she is the world's worst person at following up. Then what's really amazing is that somehow a human being who has been doing something for the same way for a while has made a choice to go back and follow up. That is so profound. I hope everybody caught that. If not, I hope you're getting it now. She could have chosen to keep operating in the same model that she had done before, but she had a desire, not that she loves doing paperwork, not that she loves doing all these follow-up things, but she had a desire to truly help the other person. And as a result of that, she realized that she's leaving some people behind. She's done a lot of investment in them. Not that she's worried about the return on her investment, but she's worried about These people were interested in something. There was a desire for them on their health. They did get added into the thing. What happened on that? She could go and talk to 150 people, and 130 of them are ready to become customers. Somebody just simply didn't ask them to become a customer. There's a huge, huge lesson in that for everybody here, several of them. One, you have a choice every time. I don't care how long you've been doing it the other way. If you have a desire to do it differently, make the choice. Is that easy? No, because there's these things called hormones and memories and endorphins and drugs in your system called dopamine and oxytocin and all kinds of crazy stuff and stress hormones and all this that cause some crazy stuff to happen in somebody's head to keep them from doing that. And you get in a feedback loop. Well, I'm just not good at following up. And guess what? You don't follow up. But what did she do? She goes, no, that ain't happening. This shall not pass. I heard a good explanation of that. Anybody that's watched Lord of the Rings will remember the scene where Gandalf is on the bridge down in the mines with all the elves and all those guys. Whoa, what the heck happened there? Somebody sharing their screen. Jennifer, I think you accidentally hit the share screen button, but that's okay. I think I can take that. Ah, there it is. Thank you. But he's standing on that, and the Balrog, which is the big old fiery demon from the pits of Moria or whatever, shows up, and Gandalf gets everybody across the bridge, and then he gets all serious and goes, "You shall not pass." And what Michelle decided to do was, you shall not pass. This is not going to continue. I'm going to choose to do something different. That is insanely powerful. Because with that, you can absolutely reprogram yourself. You can do whatever you choose to do, and the world of possibilities will just blow up. And when you choose to step into that and you see that, it's insane what can happen very, very rapidly. So very powerful stuff there, Michelle. That was great. Yes. And
we'll be calling for follow-up too.
I like it. What I was getting ready to do there, actually, I want everybody to know this, is I was getting ready to dig in to see if we could identify where that came from to get her to a point where she can see when she said, hey, I'm not good at follow-up. I was like, boom, there's a thing. I was getting ready to go down that path. I did not go down that path because she's already gone down that herself, made a choice. It's huge. Any blockage you've got, when we identify it, we're going to go all the way into it until we can find its source, so that ultimately we can identify that, so we can then understand that at that point when that little thing happens that triggers you to go do what you always do. When you see a stop sign, it triggers a program to execute that says implement the stop vehicle program. Okay? And then all kinds of stuff starts happening. Your foot comes off of the gas and it moves over and it starts pushing on the brake, and then you're doing different things and you start looking and different things happen. You don't pay any attention to that. But that little red thing off to the side there causes the program to execute. She had that just about to happen again, and she said, nope, not running that program, gonna make an actual conscious thought. That's so cool. And when you can get whatever it is that gets you stuck, Michelle is crushing it, just so y'all know. But she's still looking for how can she do this and implement and impact more people. And that's desire is what caused that to happen. If you don't have the desire, you ain't going to change nothing. That goes all the way to when we're prospecting. If they don't have a desire, I ain't going to sit there and waste my time, nor should you. If there's a desire, let's go. Because if I get a hold of them and they're willing to listen, I have an insane conversion amount because I know now how to go through those steps with them. And that's where this process is so damn good. Now, that said, doesn't matter how great a process is, if you don't get onto the on-ramp of bringing material to that amazing conveyor belt. Because you can be out there in your dump truck all day long everybody else's dump truck's going through this thing and just cranking it out, man, you're going to see the explosion of all time is happening. It's already occurring. It's like some video game where you're a sniper and you make 1,000-yard shot, you pull the trigger and you just get up, start walking to go collect your medal because you already know where it's going. The fuse is already lit. Now it's just a matter, are you going to be a part of it or are you going to watch it go by? If you're going to be a part of it, the fact that you're here tonight, digging in, figuring these things out, understanding the process is there. If you got any questions on the process, call me. I'll explain it to you. I'll point you to the entire library of power hours for the last year and a half. They're all saying the same thing. But if you have any questions on that, I will sit with you. I will make sure you're crystal clear with it. But after that, there's something in there as you're doing that that's holding you back, and it's not just Kayani. Look at your life. Look at the part she said it. She doesn't like doing paperwork. That's not what moves her. It's not her desire. But in this situation, she recognized that and she made a change for it. That's so, so darn good. So congrats, Michelle. That's powerful. All right, we got time for one more. Miss Joanne. Congratulations on 2 new business partners in less than a week. Joanne's on fire.
Thank you. I just would like to add a couple of things that
Please.
Michelle said. All right, I feel exactly like her on following up. But it's very interesting because I have signed these people up, my motivation of following up's changed drastically. I have followed up on so many people in the last 2 days, and it's made me realize you just have to find that motivation to follow up. And I think that's what Michelle has found is, all right, she sent them all on there. Nothing's happening. She's motivated to contact them now to find out. And the other thing I realized, I wasn't sure I always asked at the end if they were ready to sign up or to be a customer, or it's very interesting when I realized.
That's so good that you realize that. And it's a common thing. I ask this often. Somebody will say, well, I had such a great conversation. Well, did you ask them if they're ready to join? Oh, crap. No, damn it. Why didn't I do that? That's really great that this exchange that just happened is the secondary most powerful reason of having these, is because when somebody gets real with what's going on, somebody else lives through that. Joanne lived through what Michelle was saying, playing her own version of the video in her brain, listening to what was happening with Michelle because it was so real. That's the power of this experiential type of learning. It is unbelievable how far of a breakthrough you can have. I have watched this in a condensed version of about 30-something hours in about 3 days of this type of inquiry of how you go through it. And I have seen people's lives transform literally in 3 days as a result of that type. So the more you participate in this, not only will you have that, as Michelle was sharing, as Sherry was sharing, as Joanne just had, but you also get the ones where somebody else says something and it causes you to get that. And that's what I want you guys to spread the message on. That's what I want Power Hour for Thursdays for me to be, is when you guys come in on this, I want you guys to have that type of experience. When you're listening to it, don't zone out because you're not the one talking. Live their story. You will have your insights that will come because you're going to look at this at a different way. You cannot solve a problem in the same vantage point of how you created it. That's an Albert Einstein quote that I butchered, but that's the main idea. It's good stuff, Joanne. Anything else?
No, that's it.
What would you say the biggest reason why you've gotten 2 people in the last week are? What's been the catalyst for it? You just get lucky, or what happened?
Well, I was sitting at my lucky table, but
She ain't joking about that table, man. That thing needs to be gilded. That sucker is awesome.
last 4 people I signed them up at the same table.
We're joking, but let's dig into that because it's actually quite profound, and I want to talk about that. She was in the right state of being. She walked in with an advantage in her brain. It's called home court advantage, home field advantage in sports. What damn difference does it make? It's the exact same dimensions on the field, on wherever they're playing. But somebody's got it in their head that that's their lucky thing. And guess what? It's their lucky thing. Because you manifest that. You're in a state of being. When she walks in, she goes, I'm at my lucky table. This person joined, they don't even know what I'm getting ready to talk about. And that's, you walk in with, guess what? And I ain't lying. I'm pretty accurate on what I just said there with Joanne. This is happening. You don't even know it yet. But when you come with that energy, when you're projecting that, when that's blowing out of your mind, out of your whole being out, guess what? The other person picks up on that. And when they pick up on that, they like being around that. You come in with, well, how you been? Guess what? They pick up on that too. So find your spot wherever that is and go with it. Go with any extra advantage that you can, because it is an advantage, because it's allowing you to project out what it is that you want to occur. So besides your lucky table, what else, Joanne?
All right, so the first one I signed up, it was very interesting because he made the comment his dad has just passed away, but he has had Alzheimer's for the past year, whatever, long time. And what he said was, he told his wife he would not go through that. He would go on a cruise and jump off a cruise ship before he went through. That was my opening to Kayani, was that, you know, how it helps cognitive function, how it helps the mind. Anyway, that's how it started. And it was so funny because then I happened to say, well, no, we talked about that, and then he left. Then when he came back, and I said,
what was the amount of time between conversations?
Oh, a couple of days.
Now, see, you see how she just breezed past that like it was no big deal? Because for Joanne, it's no big deal. It doesn't matter. It didn't have to be right then. Sorry, I'm lagging out. Am I back yet? All right.
Yes.
Good. Okay. She didn't care about there being a break in the conversation. It didn't matter. It's not, I got to get this done right now. It's, and it's different from what Sherry was saying, but it's in that same vein, because where Sherry was at, there was not going to be another one unless it was made. And Joanne's got it set up where they're going to see her, and then they're going to come back a couple days later and come see her again. Just the nature of how she runs into a lot of people. So, but it didn't matter where she felt like, I got to wrap this thing up. She knew she had something created for them to come back. But I really want to make that distinction there. Doesn't care that, oh, we'll see you again. I'm going to run into you again. I have a way to get in contact with you again. And then that doesn't force the conversation. It allows her to have a way to continue the conversation. Keep going.
All right. So he said he was packed up because he travels for his job. And I said, yeah. I said, but you don't have any Kayani in your pack yet, do you? And he said, no. And he said, he was thinking about that. He's been in other multi-level marketing businesses, so his wife kind of has a little deal about it. And that was my opening to tell him about the founders, because we are so different from other multi-level marketing. And I told him about Tyler, how you brought Tyler in with absolutely, and he said it for me, no way to get one thing out of it. I said, that's exactly right. And so I truly think that could have been the whole turning point. And then I happened to say, and I think this is on a Saturday, and I think I'm going to sign somebody up on Monday. And if I did, I'd be able to place them under you. Now, I didn't have them signed up, nothing. I just made the comment.
Possibility. This could happen.
He said, all right, let's do it.
I love that.
That's what he said. All right, let's do it. Opened the computer and we did it.
Notice that there was no need for her to send anybody over. They're ready to go. That's another thing I want y'all to remember. She asked for the sale right there without asking for a sale. Just, hey, you ready? Let's do it. All right. You don't need to talk to him. You need to talk to Casey before we can. No. You give them what they need. They didn't require anything else. They got from her personal testimony of here's what I've observed personally. Let me share that with you. That's all that gentleman needs. What's really freaking crazy on what you just said, and I didn't do it for this reason, there was no way to anticipate something like that, but what she's talking about with Tyler, and Tyler is in Team Fusion. He's not in my organization. And as a result of me working with him reaching out to me, us having a lot of discussions, he coming in from a trip, and then with his girlfriend, they came over, spent a lot of time with me, picking my brain. I invited them into our group. And I did that purely from that was done for me, my previous company, and it changed my life. So if I can pay that forward, how cool is that? As a result of doing that, I have a new business partner in my organization because Joanne heard that, shared it with another guy, and that guy's now in.
Yep.
Isn't that interesting?
Yep. That's exactly what did it.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
You realize we are different.
That's right.
That's what he realized. We are different.
That's right. Very, very good stuff, Joanne. Very good stuff. All right. Then I want to wrap it up with a key statement of what's getting ready to go down. Next week, which would be the 1st, next Thursday. So we got 1 week left in this month. And it's even a long one too. So it's not like February. February is like the devil month. I mean, it's like seriously 28 days. Are y'all kidding me? That's just not right. So next week, I'm going to announce the next milestone in the Jade Factory blueprint. I laid all this out in Salt Lake City in May. And we got some pretty neat stuff that's been happening this summer. Some dump truck driving, if you will. Some 1s and 2s and 3s and 4s and 5s with little circles around it. I'm going to show you why y'all have been doing that for this amount of time and why you'll continue to do that. Talking about these conversations and what it's going to lead into. I recommend that you do whatever you got to do, but 167 hours and 4 minutes from now, I would highly recommend that you're on Power Hour, which is next Thursday at 9 p.m. Central. Make sure everybody that you care about that's in the business is on. And I'm going to lay out to you what we're going to do coming up throughout August and September. And I'm going to show you how, if you will follow along with me, if you will execute on what I've laid out for you all and that the whole team has provided input into. I want to be clear, this is not Casey's process. This is the Jade Factory process. Okay? I'm going to show you how all this is going to fit together. And we'll go over it the next couple sessions so that everybody's crystal clear. But make sure next Thursday you're on. You're going to want to see this. You're going to want to see what it's going to do. You want to see how it's lined up. It's going to be awesome. What we've got in place, the explosion that I foresee occurring as a result of what we're going to do with this, the momentum that I'm already experiencing right now is I have the best viewpoint of everybody in the organization. That's just how it works. I can tell you that what we've got, what's here, my excitement level, and the passion that I've got and the amount that I'm letting loose right now, because y'all that know me know that I don't get all giddy. I'm giddy. I'm extremely giddy for what's getting ready to happen to you all. I'm very, very excited about, start figuring out what white car you're going to be driving, go car shopping, start getting all that done, because when you hit that, you're going to be really frustrated that you got to spend more time going and look for cars. Go ahead and start doing that. I'm not joking. Okay? If you all will follow this, if you all will unleash this, if you all will bring the passion if you will continue doing the work that you're doing, while it might seem weird, why the hell am I waving to people? Why am I having these conversations? I promise you, keep using this, keep putting this into place. I'm going to lay it out for you next Thursday. We're going to implement this thing coming up in about a month, but I'm going to lay it all out for you next week. So you got plenty of time to plan. And I'll just go ahead and give you the slightest little heads up that go ahead and start clearing your calendar after Labor Day. Okay? Do everything you can. It's kind of like somebody's getting married and they say, save the date somewhere around here. I'm just letting you know, open up your calendar for a little bit after Labor Day, and we're going to change your life, and we're going to set you on a financial and an impact journey that's going to be second to none that you've ever done before. If and only if you desire to do so. It's going to happen with or without you. I do promise you that. I hope it's with you. I hope you choose, and choose is the key word. For y'all that know what chocolate vanilla choose means, choose to do this. I want you guys to be on board with this. So next Thursday, we'll see you at Power Hour. And I see somebody raising their hand. If you got a question, go for it.
Hello.
Jennifer, you there?
Yeah, I'm just listening, and I
Okay.
just smiled at the choose, so I raised my hand.
Oh, you know what? That was an hand is what that was. That was an amen.
Yeah. Something like that.
I love it. That's awesome. Very good. Very good. I appreciate that.
So real quick,
Yes.
I had to join Mr. Hollywood, Mr. Eddie. I will be on 102.5 morning show this Sunday at 9:15 to 9:30. So if anybody wants to join in on that, I'll send out that link. So Eddie, I had to join you, brother.
Look what you started.
Awesome.
I love it. I love it. And for y'all that didn't get a chance to hear Mr. Blacknell's awesome radio spot that he had, let me know. I can get you that link. He sent that over. It was awesome. I appreciated the nod in the chat as well. But man, that was so cool. I'm so excited. And Mr. Jones, hearing that you're going to be doing the same. We got authors, we got radio personalities on this team. It's pretty freaking cool right now. So y'all keep blowing it up in all of your respective areas. It's so cool to see everybody winning. So I'm going to unmute the line so everybody can say good night. Thank you all for joining. Thank you for participating. And we will see you next week. Make sure you let everybody know. All right, everybody, y'all have a great night. Let me unmute the lines, and we'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Good night.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Check the chat.
Bye.
Casey.
Thank you.
Good night. Check the chat.
You guys
Check
are
the chat.
awesome. You guys are awesome.
You too, Eddie.
I would like Eddie's link. I didn't get to hear it.
I'll forward it
I
to
did
you.
not either.
Thank you.
And Jennifer, I'll forward it to you as well.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely.
Y'all have a
Thank
good night.
You too.
Good night.
Good night.
See y'all later. Seeing you, Betty.